There's so many things going on this weekend. We hope we can get it all into one show this morning. Good morning. It's Thursday morning. It's 9 a.m. It's time for our town here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Of course, RAGBRAI coming to town this weekend, coming to the area this weekend. We'll talk to the chair of the Lansing RAGBRAI committee, Ian Zahren. We'll talk to Sarah Snitker from the city of Waukon to see how Waukon is getting ready to be a pass-through community on the route coming up this weekend. We'll talk to Matt Marsula from the West Union Chamber of Commerce, Main Street West Union, and West Union Economic Development. West Union going to be the final overnight stop for RAGBRAI 2022. And that will take place on Friday night. Of course, Nordic Fest coming up this weekend in the city of Decorah. That means a lot of stuff going on at Vestherheim. Chivonne Marlow will join us to talk about what's going on at Vestherheim. And we'll have the chair of the Nordic Fest committee, the president of the Nordic Fest committee, Mr. Brian Solberg, joining us. But we will start out our conversation this morning with an event coming up next Tuesday night. It's going to be the second time that the Decorah Police Department has taken part in this event. It will be National Night Out. Scott Hermann with the Decorah Police Department will kick off the show. This is Our Town. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust, and you're listening to it on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Coming up next Tuesday night is National Night Out, and the city of Decorah will be recognizing National Night Out. And here to discuss it, Scott Hermann with the Decorah Police Department. And Scott, first things first, what is National Night Out?
So National Night Out is obviously a national project that many cities partake in nationwide. It's always held the first part of August, and this week, obviously, this year it's August 2nd. And it's a great way it's a family-friendly event. It's a great way for people to get out into the public, develop some positive relationships with law enforcement, with other emergency services in the area. This is actually our second year doing that, and we're pretty excited about it again this year.
I know you had this celebration last year. As a police officer, what did the department get out of it?
You know, we just, excuse me, we had a great time last year. We're constantly getting, we're getting new officers. And I think the best thing that we get out of it is we get to get out of our cars. We get to talk to people. We get to introduce ourselves. Some of the new officers get to meet people. The community gets to meet our officers. It's just a good time to get out and just have a good time, get to know each other.
When it comes to community police relations, how important is it for really all parties involved just to get that human interaction and not to have that just officer constituent relationship? How important is it to go deeper than that?
I think that's extremely important. We're very lucky living in this area. We've got a community that supports the police, and we do everything we can do to try to do the best jobs we can. But it's important. I mean, we can't do this job without the help of the community, without the help of the public, and it makes it so much easier. But when it comes right down to it, we're just common people living in the community as well, and so everybody takes part in doing this. So it's extremely important for our department and for our area to be out into the public. And this is just one way for us to do that.
As for the event itself coming up on Tuesday night, tell us about it. What does it all entail?
So it is next Tuesday night, August 2nd, from 5 p.m. to 7. It's at Phelps Park in Decorah. And this year we've got a great band. We've got the Buck Hollow Band playing from 5 to 7. And if you've never watched the Buck Hollow Band, they're just great. They're a lot of fun. It's everything from country to rock and roll, a lot of dancing music. It's just a great time. We've got games that for the younger folks provided by the Park and Rec here in Decorah. And then also the Girl Scouts of Northeast Iowa and Western Illinois, they've also have some games and things for young folks to do. This year, being between 5 and 7 time frame, I wanted to get some food involved in this thing. Not to mention I like to eat food, Darren. So we reached out and we actually have a burger meal for 300 guests that will be provided by, cooked and is provided by Fairway here in Decorah. And the Wenatchee County Cattlemen are going to cook the burgers for us. And we have the Boy Scouts that will serve it to us. So we have food for 300 people. So we're hoping for a big crowd. And it should be a good time.
So let's see, you got music, you got community gathering, you got food, you got games. What more can you ask for, honestly?
Well, we've got a few other things. We've got emergency vehicles from all over the area coming. We've got commitments from the Iowa State Patrol, the Wenatchee County Sheriff's Office, Decorah Fire will be there. So you get to meet a lot of the different emergency workers from around the area. We're going to have our new K9 Loki will be there. So you get to meet Loki if you'd like to do that. So it's just, like I said, it's a great time to come out. You can't beat the price. You can't beat the entertainment. And it'll be a great time.
Anything else we need to know? Anything else you want to pass on about National Night Out next week?
You know, we just had, it's a lot of work, but we've had some great sponsors helping us out with that. Deco Products has been phenomenal and has been helping us out. I mentioned Fairway earlier. Brett Robinson, the meat manager there, is donating all the burgers for us. Hy-Vee and Walmart have been just phenomenal to work with. Decorah Park and Rec, of course, obviously, I think everybody knows that they're great, but you know, it's not just one person or it's not just one department that's putting this on. We've got people from the police department and helping services who are working through this, but we've got so many sponsors and so many other volunteers that are helping out. And it's just been a fun event.
All right, Scott, we appreciate you taking some time to talk about the event coming up next week. I know it's a busy time of year for a lot of people in the Decorah community. Your department with Nordic Fest coming up this weekend. I know had a lot to deal with last weekend with severe weather. We thank you guys for everything you do for the community and wish you best of luck for a fun night next Tuesday night.
Great. Thanks a lot, Darren. Appreciate it.
Scott Hermann with the Decorah Police Department. National Night Out next Tuesday night from 5 until 7 at Phelps Park. It is that time of year. It's coming up tonight. It's the opening day of Nordic Fest 2022, and Mr. President of Nordic Fest this year, Brian Solberg, joining us. It's about the third time we've gotten to talk to him about Nordic Fest. And Brian, you guys all ready to go?
We are. The board's done a great job these last 2 weeks, getting things finalized and setting a few more things up. Again, a lot of work into that by these community members, all volunteers, but they've been doing a great job. I'm really impressed with them and the work they've done these last couple of weeks. So we are very much set, and the chamber's kind of ready, and we're set for visitors. And 7 o'clock tonight, opening ceremonies get underway. Folks that head out to the opening ceremonies, what will they see? That's great. You'll see, you'll get introduced to the board. You'll see a little bit of Boonot stuff with some flag progression. You'll see a little bit of that. The Nordic dancers will perform. The Lurin singers will perform briefly. Obviously not full shows. The Nordic dancers have a much longer full show. They'll just do about 3 dances. Traditionally is what they do. A few other introductions and things. And we will open it up for the fest to begin at that point in time, as soon as we're done with all of that. So very excited.
And folks, from what I understand, can head to the chamber right now and get a Fest button and a Fest program. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's out. The program is out there online, but also at the chamber, you can get a copy, paper copy, and with $5 plus a button that gets you into a few different things uniquely. So again, you can go pick those up at the chamber. Merchandise has been on sale here this last week too. So merchandise is open there as soon as, you know, the day is going on Thursday. So even before opening ceremonies, if people are looking for merchandise to have on and parade around in for a couple of days, they can wander their way down to the chamber and find that new merchandise.
When it comes to events and where they are located, are there any major changes this year?
Yeah, a couple. The Arts and Crafts Show is now on the east end of the main drag, the kind of Water Street there, right where it kind of junctions. The VFW is down on that end. So the arts and crafts show has actually moved to there, which used to be at the middle school. So it's a little bit closer to the main, kind of the main area, easier for people to access. Not such a far walk away. They have food available in there as well. So the VFW has opened their arms and invited us in a little bit to be able to do that. And we're very excited about that kind of partnership with them. And so that's changed a little bit. The rock throw will occur back down by John Klein. Those of us that are longtime historical memory of Nordic Fest remember when the rock throw was down there all the time, and then it switched over to the middle school. It is back down by John Klein School as well. A little more shade, nice kind of banked area for people to sit, the spectators to sit and watch from. So we're back down there for that. There is a few other things going on down there as well in that kind of general area. The Viking encampment and their reenactment stuff has moved back behind Vestherheim in the, that whole addition and renovation they've done there. There's a new building under construction that is taking up some space, but the Vikings are very excited to be back there, kind of doing their presentation a little bit to the crowd and utilizing that beautiful area that the Vestherheim has constructed. So those are kind of some of the major changes this year as far as just shifting things from place to place.
Just getting that arts and crafts show back this year has to be a cool thing, because that's the first time it's come back since the pandemic, correct?
That is correct. It was very, very difficult for the vendors. They were, a major concern, and we couldn't get people. And quite obviously that having that back is wonderful. Everything there is authentic. It's all handmade. It's not, say they purchased something and brought it in. Every vendor there has made things personally themselves by hand. So that's kind of part of that arts and crafts show that we like. Some stuff is very much Scandinavian heritage type of stuff as well. But then you've got your demonstrators doing their things in the back of Vestherheim again, with their different events that they schedule as well. So it's nice to see those people doing some of that demonstration, as well as seeing the arts and crafts show some of that authentic stuff kind of in place.
And of course, when you head to Saturday, you always think about the Grand Parade on Saturday morning, and I'd imagine plenty of entries, and they'll be ready to go about 10:30 Saturday morning, correct?
That's right. Gabriel Eide is our board chair there. He's done a wonderful job organizing things and trying to get flow and traffic, kind of reorganized a little bit. He's done a really nice job with that. He's excited about the entries that he's got. We've got, again, with that 10:30, the parade starts and kind of marches through. Fairly long parade we do have, but we're really excited about it. It'll happen 10:30. We're crossing our fingers. Weather looks like it'll be all right as I look into that long-term forecast right now. But yeah, that's going to be really exciting to progress with as well.
And come Saturday night, of course, entertainment will take place at the downtown canopies throughout the weekend. Of course, Canopy 5 back up on Water Street once again this year. You made that move last year. Obviously, you were happy with it, I'm guessing.
Yes, it was a very, economically as well as just aesthetically, it was a good move. A lot of very family atmosphere. It's not just, at night and with one, big main entertainment. There's entertainment in that canopy area most of the day. Very family friendly. You've got restrooms that are family friendly restrooms for, changing stations and things in the chamber, a little bit of air conditioning there if somebody has to step in, get out of the heat. So it's really a nice location kind of for that to be taking place. And then obviously that's Canopy 1 now. Some of you historically remember canopies in different areas, but that is Canopy 1. The canopy down on River Street is Canopy 2, and then the one way down on the east end of town is Canopy 3. But great entertainment. We've done a great, Jenny has done a great job lining that entertainment up for us and things. And so we've got some really fun, kind of authentic, type of entertainment that's going to be enjoyable for all ages during the day, as well as then in the evening.
Sorry for misidentifying the canopies, but I'm Norwegian and that involved math. So you do the math on that end of things.
That's right.
So anything else you want to pass on regarding the fest coming up this weekend?
No, not just really excited for it. Again, last year getting back into it a little bit. We're all trying to get into the flow of things. So we're seeing really wonderful turnout in membership. Extremely helpful for us to be able to maintain and put on the fest. So that's been a wonderful boost for us this year. And again, even more so than what we had last year. So we're very excited about that. Getting things online so that they're available, trying to get information out in some social media ways that we hadn't in the past. And so really trying to keep information out there and available to individuals is a good thing. We've reorganized the program a little bit, so it's a little bit easier perhaps tell when things overlap or conflict, or times of the day. So get out there and take a look at that online and pick out the events that you want to. And I think you'll find it easy to kind of read it a little bit and then just understand what's happening during the day. Everything from Canopy 1, 2, and 3 to kids entertainment, sporting events, and all the kind of stuff that's going on for the weekend.
And of course, Elvalopet, part of the races on Saturday morning. Is there pre-registration available for that?
Yep, online. There's a link online at either nordicfest.com or the other. You can get in and register yourself early. It's going to be a little more efficient for you. You do it online and just kind of click into all your stuff, and everything's taken care of a little more efficiently. That's a system we went to starting last year as well. So that helps in just getting registered for everybody, instead of this mad rush sometimes to just try to fill out a piece of paper and drop it on Friday to be ready for Saturday morning. So there's a little bit of that goes on, but primarily we're doing the online registration just for ease of getting everything organized.
And it's a community event coming up this weekend. You talked about the efforts of the volunteers and the board and all their work in making this thing work. And you touched on the financial contributions as well. Without those type of things, this thing doesn't happen, doesn't it?
That's right. Exactly right, Darren. And again, we got our nonprofits doing their thing with food, producing the different food and things like that, obviously. But the board is not a moneymaker. It's not a fundraiser moneymaker thing. We look to break even and kind of be able to put the fest on and put it on in a good way. But again, the more support we have from membership and different things and donations, then the more efficient and effective it can be, things that we can do. Because again, costs go up for various things that we have as well that we're putting on. And we try to manage that too as a board to make sure that we're not always consistently being, in the negative at the end of the fest. So
Brian, we appreciate your time and telling us what's all going to be going on this weekend in Decorah. Thank you and the board for all of their efforts in putting the fest on. We wish you best of luck this weekend, and let's have a heck of a lot of fun.
That's right. See you downtown tonight. It's going to be a great time, and we'll open it up and go from there.
Brian Solberg is the Nordic Fest board president. The fest opening ceremonies begin tonight at 7 o'clock at the Courthouse Square. It's Nordic Fest this weekend, and of course, a busy place will be the Vestherheim Norwegian American Museum in Decorah. And Chivonne Marlow joining us from Vestherheim. And the first thing we'll ask you about is progress on the new building. How is that coming, which will be an exciting part of the campus? And obviously, people that have driven by that area have seen a lot of work progressing in the last few months. How's the progress on the new building coming?
Progress is going well. It seems like all of a sudden we're starting to see, big pieces come out of the ground where there was a lot of prep work before. We'll actually have a table during Nordic Fest where people can come ask about progress and get updates. But we hope it'll open around first quarter next year.
That's great to hear. Obviously, the Nordic Fest is a busy time of year for Vestherheim. What are some of the events that Vestherheim attendees can look forward to this weekend?
We have a lot going on. We'll have demonstrators both in the Heritage Park and in the Westby Torgerson Education Center. So those demonstrators will be doing all sorts of folk art, from carving to band weaving to knife making, lots of rose mauling, many different types of folk art. And then we'll also have the Skaldborg. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I interrupted you. That was my mistake. You were ready to go. My apologies.
Okay, that's okay. So we'll have the Skaldborg Vikings encampment here on the Vestherheim campus again. Last year they were over by the school, but this year we're really excited to have them back on the Vestherheim campus down by the amphitheater. We will have Eden Aim, who plays a hardanger fiddle, and she's amazing. And she'll be wandering Friday and Saturday. She'll be wandering the Vestherheim campus playing. We will also have Music Jam in the amphitheater this year. A couple other events. There is a showing of a film, which is it's a film about Carl Homestead, who's a very famous local painter. And the film is called A Brush with Life, The Art of Being. And that will be in Bethania Church on Friday afternoon. On Saturday in Bethania, there will be a flute choir from Rochester. And we're really excited to have them here as well. They will play Norwegian music from Ole Bull and Grieg. And they will, I want to make a point of this, their concert will be done in time for the Bunad show on Saturday.
Always good to have that timing in between all of the events going on this weekend. Reading your Facebook site, one of the interesting things that caught my eye is representatives from the Norwegian American Genealogical Center in Madison, Wisconsin, going to be in town.
Yes.
What are they going to be up to?
They will be in the Westby Torgerson building, and they will be helping people learn how to do research on their Norwegian American genealogy. They will also have some books available for purchase, but really they're just there to help people get started. We're really excited to have them. One of the other things we have happening is the folk art school, the folk art national exhibition on the main level of the museum. And we really encourage people to come in, take a look around at some amazing examples of Norwegian American folk art. And some of those items will be for sale, but what we really want people to do is come in and vote for the People's Choice Awards. And it's going to be a tough vote because there are so many items that are just beautiful there.
When it comes to Norwegian folk art, first thing that comes to most people's mind is rose mauling. Is it only rose mauling, or does it entail quite a few things?
Absolutely, it entails a million things. It feels like there's carving and lots of different styles of carving. There's dragon style, acanthus style. There's some knives that people have made. There are things that have been woven and knitted and quilted, things that have been painted, things that have been coal rosed, all sorts of items. There's an enormous, and it's really big. It's a carousel horse that somebody has carved, and it's absolutely stunning. But there are so many other things in there.
And obviously very talented people. The artists that produce this folk art, do they come pretty much from everywhere?
They do. They come from all over, both in and outside of the United States. And many of them have a huge connection with Vestherheim. And we're so grateful that they'll send their items here so that people can take a look at them and have the option to purchase if they want, but just also for people to be exposed to the many, many different types of folk art.
When it comes to hours for the museum this weekend, admission, everything like that, when are you going to be open? What's the admission cost?
We will be open the museum is open from 9 to 5, and Thursday there is free admission. Friday and Saturday, it's just regular admission, which is $12 for adults, $10 for seniors, and then $5 for youth 7 to 18. And
I'd imagine you'll be accepting memberships this weekend. I'd imagine this is a good weekend to do so.
This is a great weekend to either start a new membership or renew your membership. And that membership will get you into the museum free. It will give you advance notice for different happenings at the museum. You also get a copy of the Vestherheim. You will get copies of the Vestherheim magazine sent to you twice annually. And it is an absolutely stunning magazine full of interesting articles about Norwegian heritage, about Norway, about Vestherheim's trips to Norway, and full of pictures.
When it comes to making trips to Norway, the world a little more open than it has been the last couple of years. Are they going to become a little bit more of a regular thing than perhaps over the last couple of years where the world was a different place and not allowing those to happen?
They will. They are our trips for this year, I believe, are full, but we're accepting people deposits and reservations for future trips. And yes, we'll have multiple trips per year going to Norway again.
Anything else we need to know about the goings on at Vestherheim coming up for Nordic Fest?
You can find a schedule of events online. We will have signs all over. Please make sure to go inside and outside to visit all of the folk artists, and definitely come into the museum. We'd love to see everybody there.
And of course, you guys get a lot of attention and deserved attention here at Nordic Fest weekend, but there's always stuff going on at Vestherheim. If you look past this weekend, what are maybe some of the things that are upcoming here late summer, early fall that will draw a lot of eyes to your museum?
We will have the exhibits will change pretty regularly. I don't have the list with me of what they'll change to, but we have an ongoing change of exhibits. We will have lots of folk art classes, and those range from beginning classes to almost expert level. And those are, in any number of Norwegian traditions, as well as Norwegian language classes that people can take. We have family activities. We will have the free second Saturdays. So the second Saturday of every month is free admission, and people are welcome to come in. And then, looking forward, we'll have different events. We'll have stuff on Luther's Family Weekend. We'll have things coming up for the holidays. So lots of good stuff.
As always at Vestherheim, Chivonne, we appreciate you taking some time. I know it's going to be a busy weekend for a lot of people in Decorah and everybody at Vestherheim. We wish you best of luck with all the people coming to town, and we thank you for taking some time, and thank you for what you provide this community on a really a daily basis at Vestherheim.
Thank you, Darren. We appreciate it.
Chivonne Marlow from Vestherheim. A lot of things going on. Head to vestherheim.org for all of the information. RAGBRAI coming to West Union. The final overnight stop on the 2022 tour is Friday. Matthew Marsula from West Union Main Street, West Union Chamber, all other sorts of things that fill up his LinkedIn profile pretty well, I'm sure. But Matthew, I know you're quite busy. We appreciate you giving us a few minutes. About 6 months of work coming to fruition this week. Did the time fly by for you, or was it a little slower than that?
Oh, absolutely. The time, it just seemed to disappear one day. A lot of anticipation leading up to the event. We had a little countdown timer in our own committee online space where everybody gets together and chats, and we've been watching the numbers go down, and you just wake up one day and, like you said, 6 months are gone. So they'll be here on Friday, but we're ready.
As for folks that will be coming to West Union or through West Union on Friday, what do they need to know about how to get around town, if they want to partake in some of your activities, where they should park, that sort of thing? So what type of logistics do folks need to be aware of?
Yeah, day of, there are going to be an extra 20,000 people in West Union. That's a big undertaking to logistically plan for, to readjust. We're a town of 2,500, so the big pieces here is our downtown is going to be fairly congested. That's where all of our events are. That's where we expect everybody to spend the majority of their day. However, people visiting our community, they can park in a few of our local businesses, in the surrounding areas, in the side streets. We've kept most of our residential areas fairly open, and they're wide streets for everybody to park. Our RAGBRAI riders, they're going to take all of our fairgrounds up. They're going to take both school parking lots up. They're going to take our rec center and our airport up. So those areas, if you're local, are the areas to maybe stay away from when looking for additional parking.
What are some of the events that folks can partake of and help welcome all these folks to your community?
Yeah, we have just a jam-packed day on Friday. Starts at 10 o'clock with Bo Timmerman. He's going to be on our second stage, opening that up. He plays from 10 to noon, and then at noon we have the swing crew. They'll play from noon to, I believe, 2 o'clock, and then from 2 to 4, we've got the Barflies, and they'll close out the second stage. And then our main stage will be at 4 o'clock, and that opens with a local act, Steven Schroeder. From there, we move on to Rolling Thunder, and then close out with our headliner, which is Arch Allies.
And I know in our previous conversations, one of the things with providing entertainment, providing food, etc., one of the challenges on being one of the last spots is a lot of these RAGBRAI riders see the same things when it comes to food and entertainment going through towns along the tour. How were you able to maybe diversify that lineup when it comes to those things to make sure that West Union will be a unique spot?
Yeah, absolutely. That was a tough decision for us. You know, we looked at that RAGBRAI manual many times and in many different factors there when it comes to food and vendors, when it comes to entertainment, all of that. And being unique was something we wanted to make sure that we were accomplishing. So we tried to do what we do best, you know, things that we've done in West Union that have worked that we don't see a lot of anywhere else. The one thing I'm excited for is our human foosball. It is just a fantastic game where people play a human-sized version of foosball, and that seems to always draw a massive crowd. We've done it at kid-focused events, and the adults end up taking over completely. So we really think that that'll take off. We also have, you know, your classic cornhole. You can't come to Iowa if you're not going to play some cornhole. So we've got that. And then we also have a few of our vendors. You know, we have an axe thrower coming, and that should be an interesting time. As well as, you know, the National Guard will be there with their Humvee for people to take a look at. And I believe that they've got a surprise game there as well. So we want to make sure that we had enough for people to do, but our vendors downtown, we've got 15 of them, I believe, right now, and they all do quite a few different things, sell a variety of food. So it'll be an entertaining day for them.
How'd the idea of human foosball come to fruition? That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So West Union has done a block party for the last, 10 years, maybe, from my understanding. And they recently added this to the last year's block party. And it's a bunch of hay bales that we get from a local farmer. And we have a plumbing and heating company that donates the use of some galvanized pipe. But the idea was to just get people out and running around and having a good time. You know, we were really focused more on the kids, to be honest. You know, that was the big draw, is to give the kids something to do so that they, the parents could go off and, you know, go shopping or go down, you know, walk around downtown while their children, you know, were entertained. But we quickly realized that the entertainment factor didn't stop with the children, that the adults really started to take over, and then the kids were watching their parents play, almost like a reversed role there. And it was just a really fantastic kind of organic thing that came about. So then we decided to start including that in, you know, our more adult focused events.
And to remind people, which direction will the bikers be coming into town? Which direction will they be leaving town as they head towards Lansing on Saturday?
Yeah, so they're actually coming in from 150 South. They're going to be traveling north. From Hawkeye, they're taking our, I believe it is 190th Street, and then turning on to 150 South, and then heading into West Union. On the way out on Saturday, the 30th, they are going to be taking 18 to Golden Road there, out to Elgin. So they're going to be heading east out towards Elgin there, and then from there they'll make their way on to Postville and eventually finish up in Lansing.
Anything else you want to remind folks of over the next couple of days here in West Union as you welcome a lot of folks to town and hopefully get a lot of folks to come back eventually too?
Yes, absolutely. And that has been just a uniform goal across the board. Business owners, citizens, myself, we've all been on the same page that, you know, the RAGBRAI, the value there isn't in the day that they come, but the individuals that come back. Because we've got a very unique community here made up of some of the nicest people I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. And I am incredibly proud of the effort, the work, the long hours, blood, sweat, and tears put into this to make this a memorable day for people so that they'll come back. But I do urge riders, maybe those locals that just come for the show that don't spend as much time in West Union as they'd like to come back and really find a quieter day to get to know us and see what we have to offer, because you can't see all West Union in one day. So I just want to point that out to people and encourage them to come back. And they can always see me in the chamber office here, and I will give them a personal tour of West Union.
And of course, there will be a lot of food around to carve up on, because that ride on Saturday is a pretty steep one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was the inspiration for our logo here. It's all downhill from here. I know it's
I like it.
reversed, but the immediate chatter once they found out what the route was that was going to be a difficult day 7 for them, or day 8. So we wanted to play on that, that kind of that difficult challenge they had going on for them. So we hope that they stock up on many of the local restaurants that we have, and then our food vendors, and just you're gonna have to wait a full year to come back and do this after you leave here. So you might as well go all out on the last night.
All right, Matt, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to tell us about what's going on in West Union on Friday, as the riders will leave town on Saturday morning. We appreciate you and all the efforts of all your committees and volunteers making RAGBRAI a reality in West Union. Best of luck to you this weekend, and make sure you get some rest on Sunday, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. And I really want to thank you for continuing to have me on here, give updates. It's just been a pleasure. So thank you.
All right, Matt Marsula from West Union Chamber, Main Street, West Union, and Fayette County Economic Development. RAGBRAI is the last overnight stop for 2022 in West Union on Friday. One of the communities that the 25,000 bikers of RAGBRAI will be going through this weekend is Waukon, in between the final overnight stop of West Union and the last stop on the RAGBRAI tour in Lansing. And coordinating the efforts for RAGBRAI efforts in the city of Waukon is Sarah Snitker. And Sarah, I know this probably isn't as much work as hosting an overnight, but there's still plenty of things to do from the city's perspective, I'd imagine.
Yes, there's still been quite a bit to do, yeah.
And tell us what some are the things that the riders going through the community will see on their way up to Lansing come this weekend.
Sure, coming into town, I think some of the residents from Task will be along the park to kind of help welcome our riders. We'll be up there a little bit in the morning. Coming through WW Dairy will have some stuff set up outside of their establishment. And then you keep going through down to the event center parking lot, and we'll have some food vendors in that area. There'll be a table with chairs and a tent set up for, any shade down there. The Wolf Pack Theater Company will be there from 9 to 12 to kind of put on a little bit of a show. So that'll be nice having that entertainment. We'll have, a water station there for anybody who wants to fill up their water bottle. And then inside the event center, we'll have, they'll be serving alcohol. And then there'll be a digital photo booth in there as well. And then the medical center in case anybody needs that for the day, something happening. And then coming back, keep going through downtown. The steakhouse, the interior of the steakhouse won't be open, but they are going to have the plaza open and available for serving on that area. So if people wanted to just kind of be there to greet riders or see them go by, that would be available as well. And then, we'll have our local establishments will still be open too during the day.
What direction will the bikers enter town? What direction will they exit town? And what direction will they go through town?
Sure. They'll be coming in on Rossville Road and they'll go straight to downtown. And once they hit the stoplight, they'll be turning right on Main Street and heading out towards Lansing on Elon Road.
And of course, when you're hosting an event like this, this does require some closures of streets, some closures of some parking lots. What do people within the community of Waukon, that whether they're coming Friday night or Saturday, need to know about any restrictions that the city will put in place?
Sure. So the roads will be open. We just urge caution for anyone driving when they're going through the main downtown. If you can use other roads, that would probably be in their best interest, in the best interest of the riders as well. We are going to post some signs in the event center parking lot area just to notify anyone to please not park in there, because we will be having some stuff starting to get set up on Friday, and we really don't want people's vehicles to be stuck there all day Saturday. So once things get set up, it'll be hard to get anything moved. And like I said, most of it will be getting set up on Friday, and then the remainder will be getting set up on Saturday morning. Otherwise, everything else will be open.
Okay. Any other general reminders that the folks in Waukon need to know about with the riders coming through this weekend?
You know, it'd be helpful for them to know as well that they have to come back. So they might be coming back through town either Saturday night or Sunday. So there might be a lot more traffic. So just so people are aware, that might be, I mean, it's probably just going to be vehicles, but just so they're aware, we might have a lot more traffic coming back through Waukon Saturday night or sometime on Sunday, which would also be good for our local establishments to know too, in case they have more people stopping to visit them too.
And it's never a bad thing getting to host an event, even though you're the pass-through community, but it's a great opportunity to sell the community itself, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it really is. For anyone local who wants to kind of just put out there what they do or anything, it's definitely great. And we've been loving marketing the local establishments, the vendors that we have, and anyone in the community. It's been a great way to get the word of mouth out there too of what's in Waukon.
All right, Sarah, we won't take any more of your time. I know you've been busy. Well, you're busy enough with your real job, and you've been busy with all the RAGBRAI information over the last few months. We wish you best of luck as you host a heck of a lot of people coming up on Saturday, and hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate, and people will come back to Waukon after visiting the community on the RAGBRAI tour.
Yeah, that's definitely a hope. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me.
Sarah Snitker from the city of Waukon. Waukon will be letting the riders pass through come Saturday in between West Union and Lansing. Good. Well, the big day is coming up on Saturday in Lansing, as RAGBRAI 2022 will end in Lansing this year. Ian Zahren joins us again, the third time we've had the opportunity to talk to him on this show. I know last weekend, Ian, you had a lot of folks in town, the support vehicles and the support crews and everything like that, parking their cars, getting ready for the end of the ride. So a lot of these folks got a taste of your community at the beginning of the ride, and imagine they're looking forward to that end of the ride come Saturday.
Yeah, we had a fantastic kind of what we call opening weekend. You know, people were coming in, having done this experience for 20, 25 years and saying this is the most organized they've seen RAGBRAI be in their entire time. It really was pretty much flawless all across the board, getting the cars in and out, the charter buses in. I mean, you know, all of a sudden you'd see 20 charter buses leave Lansing. You didn't realize they arrived. And you know, on Center Street, it would just be absolute controlled chaos, and you'd go over to Main Street and it would just look like a normal, you know, weekday. You would have no idea that there were literally thousands of people one block over parking their cars and getting on ATVs and charter buses. And I mean, I think we showed up in a really spectacular way. I think we showed really these riders that small towns can manage this in a really great way. So we had a lot of fun. The riders had an amazing experience on their opening weekend, and the volunteers, more importantly, had an awesome experience. So we're excited.
And when you look at this whole experience from the time this winter, when it was announced that Lansing was going to close out RAGBRAI 2022 till now, has it been one of those things where it seemed like 3 weeks, or has the time gone a little slower than that?
Oh, no, it's felt like 7 months. And I think the last 3 weeks have felt like 3 of them in, you know, 3 months, about 1 week is a month. You know, it's a really long, big marathon. For those that are runners, you know what it's like, you know, that mile 1920, that's where we're at right now. You know, we're really in the trenches, and you know, and I think the thing with something like this is, you take one action and you all of a sudden reveal a problem. Right. And so you have to be really quick on your feet. You have to be able to just, you have a plan, but then that plan is not working according to plan, and you just have to be able to shift and make a new plan. And so even as a teacher, teachers are, they always have plan A through F, and so we do. And then what happens after plan F doesn't, starts to kind of falter. So we're always pivoting, and we're just saying to people, be flexible, be patient. It's working, right? So we're still doing that, and that's part of the joy and part of the stress.
And I know you can't really answer this till probably next week, but throughout this process, what's been the most enjoyable part of it for you?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think circle around with me next weekend, or maybe in next month, and we'll chat about that. I think really the people. I mean, I was working out at General Parking in that like 95-degree heat and checking people in, and it was so smooth, and just the joy of welcoming people, working alongside everybody, welcoming people in. I had people coming in from Argentina, from Australia, from Europe, from all over the country, and just hearing their stories and seeing the excitement and the joy, because they've never been to Lansing, and here they have this idea of what Iowa is, and then they arrive here in the Driftless, and stunned. And so it has been definitely the best part. And I really hope on the 30th that I can at least be able to make my way down to the dip site and just get to talk with people and celebrate their success and celebrate our town's success, and not be mitigating, traffic control. Of course, that's going to happen, but I really hope I get a little bit of time to siphon off to talk to people.
And that's an interesting aspect that you brought up, and I've heard some stories, and I've read some stories about it in the early days of RAGBRAI this week, as international travel has opened up a little bit more than it has in the last couple of years. You're starting to see a bit more international flavor on this RAGBRAI ride, and it's an opportunity not only to sell Lansing, but this part of Iowa that is not the perception of Iowa. And I think that's probably one of the neatest things about this year's ride in particular. You agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful area. We have the theme of Pedal to Paradise because this is very paradisical, and people come here. It's something that never really seen, something they would never expect, especially if you're from the Midwest. You're used to seeing endless cornfields and farm and agriculture. So yeah, we're really excited to welcome people here and show them our little piece of paradise.
As for the folks that are coming to Lansing, maybe just to partake in the fun, the entertainment, everything like that on Saturday, what do folks need to know about getting around the community? What streets perhaps will be blocked off? If they need some parking, where do they go? What can you tell us on that end of things?
Yeah, so it's going to be very busy, right? That's the first thing to know, is if you want to come to Lansing, come early. There, of course, is a way to get through Lansing, right? If you're going north or southbound, there's a detour through Southtown. There's a detour that goes through 2nd and Main. But the later that you arrive in the day, the more congested it is. For our volunteers coming in, we have a designated volunteer parking lot behind the Catholic Church here in town. But Main Street from the river all the way to 6th Street is completely closed down. All traffic's redirected on Center. Additionally, we have 500 cars that are parked downtown at the practice football field that will also be exiting town. Now they'll be going up Valley Street. So there will be some clearance there, but my advice is, like, we want you to come and celebrate. I would say, if you can park on North Front Street, if you're coming in to enjoy the day, if you're volunteering, park in our volunteer lot, but try as much as you can to avoid anything between Main and 6th Street, because it's going to be pretty crowded in there, and there are a lot of charter buses. So come early, find a good spot to park, and then just wait it out for the day. Basically, we really anticipate that by 5 o'clock at night, we're going to start really having a little bit looser congestion, and it's going to be a little bit more navigatable. So we welcome you to come and enjoy, come early, and be prepared to stay a little later.
And what type of fun you got planned for the folks that not only are ending the 2022 RAGBRAI ride, or Anybody else that is coming to Lansing just to greet a lot of fun people come Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, the dip site's always a great area to kind of check out, especially as people are coming up from the dip site. We don't advise people to get down there because it's a very congested area, but, welcome people onto Main Street. We have two amazing bluegrass bands, one from Minneapolis and one here from native Iowa that'll be playing. We also are giving out free glasses of chocolate milk from WW Dairy as a token of our appreciation. There's going to be a Mount Hosmer challenge for the cyclists looking to have a little bit of an extra push at the end. There's going to be a race to the top and around Mount Hosmer that's timed. The winner of that's going to get one of the banners that's going to go around town. There's merchandise, food, ice cream, so it's just going to be really festive and really colorful. And I think we're going to bring something really magical to the day for these people. So if you're in town, come down to the information center, help out, get a volunteer shirt, welcome people, greet people. We welcome you all because this is a celebration for these riders, but also for our town and for our area.
Anything else we're missing? Anything else you want to pass on about the end of your committee's process, but the fun day coming up in Lansing on Saturday?
Just that we are extraordinarily grateful for the support of the city of Lansing, the city council, Park and Rec board, our amazing volunteers, our street crew who has worked immensely hard to just completely give a facelift to these roads in this town. I mean, we could not do it without them. It takes a village. Red Barn Campground, another one that has just completely, made this experience really enjoyable. The ATV Club. There's so many people to thank that have made this an experience, an amazing one, and made this a successful experience so far. So just that we are extraordinarily grateful. I'm extraordinarily grateful. And I hope we have an amazing July 30th. So thanks for taking your time.
All right, Ian, congratulations for all the work that you and the committee members and really everybody in Lansing has done to put on a great display of not only the community of Lansing, but Alamakee County, all of Northeast Iowa, to welcome 25,000 people into town this coming Saturday. We thank you for taking a few moments to join us, and come Sunday, relax a little bit, by the way.
Yeah, I got a wedding in 2 weeks. I'm getting married, so I still got that on my plate. But yes, I will. I'll take a day.
What have you done in your spare time this summer then?
Work.
Fair enough. But nonetheless, Ian, thanks for taking the time. Best of luck with everything come Saturday.
Great. Thank you so much.
Ian Zahren is the chair of the RAGBRAI Lansing Committee, and the rider is going to be coming to town on Saturday. On this weekend, we have to put it this way, since it's Nordic Fest weekend, a big munga-tuck to our guest on the program, Decorah Police Officer Scott Hermann. National Night Out will take place next Thursday night, or next Tuesday night, I should say, next Tuesday night at Phelps Park in Decorah from 5 until 7 p.m. We want to thank the president of the Nordic Fest Committee, Brian Solberg, for joining us. Opening ceremonies will begin at 7 o'clock tonight. Chivonne Marlow from Vestherheim. All sorts of things going on at Vestherheim this weekend, and really any part of the year. Vestherheim.org is the website. RAGBRAI coming to the area beginning really tomorrow. But a lot of area towns are going to get involved in the process really today in the western part of our listening area. Matt Marsula from the West Union Chamber, Main Street West Union, and West Union Economic Development joining us. We want to thank Sarah Snitker from the city of Waukon for joining us, and the chair of the Lansing RAGBRAI Committee, Ian Zahren, for joining us as well. Don't forget, each and every week we put this show on YouTube. We realize that sometimes you can't get to a radio, can't get to a streaming device at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning or even a Thursday morning, and we want to bring this content to you at your convenience. You can check out, if you go to YouTube, 7-28 Our Town program. That's a good way to check it out. We also post these on all of our Facebook sites as well. 94.9, 99.1 The River, Bluff Country 103.5, KNEI, KVIK, and of course, Hawk Rock 100.5. All of our LA Communications Facebook sites have links to this Our Town program on demand each and every week. A big manga tuck to Decorah Bank and Trust, our sponsor. A bigger manga tuck to our guest. And the biggest manga tuck to you for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching Our Town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.